Imagine a king, mighty and revered, yet trapped in a silent agony, torn between justice and the overwhelming love for his own flesh and blood. What if healing his family and his kingdom meant playing a dangerous game of manipulation? That's the impossible tightrope King David found himself walking after tragedy tore through his own children, leaving a gaping wound that refused to heal. Today, we're diving into a powerful, intricate story from 2 Samuel chapter 14, a narrative that reveals the stunning lengths a loyal general went to, the wisdom of an unnamed woman, and the enduring human struggle with forgiveness, consequence, and the art of reconciliation. This isn't just an ancient tale, it's a masterclass in diplomacy, grief, and the enduring power of a broken family. Please make sure you check out this video before this one to get a full understanding of the story. For 3 long years, King David had been living in a kind of suspended animation. His son, Absalom, had fled Jerusalem after taking vengeance on his half-brother Amnon for the horrific assault on their sister Tamar. Amnon was dead, Absalom was a fugitive, and David was a father twice wounded by Amnon's crime and Absalom's subsequent murder. The Bible tells us David mourned for Amnon, but his soul yearned for Absalom. He longed for his son, but his hands were tied by justice, by the weight of the law, and perhaps by his own lingering anger and guilt. He couldn't just pardon a murderer, even if that murderer was his beloved son. This unspoken tension, this royal stalemate, didn't escape the notice of Joab, David's seasoned, often ruthless, but fiercely loyal commander. Joab saw the king's deep sorrow, the way his heart leaned towards Absalom, yet he understood the unmovable obstacle of royal decorum and justice. David was paralyzed, and a paralyzed king meant a kingdom left vulnerable, a family incomplete. Joab, ever the man of action and strategy, knew he had to act. He decided to find a way to reintroduce the idea of Absalom's return without David himself having to initiate it directly. He needed a clever intermediary, someone who could speak a truth so subtly that David would come to the desired conclusion on his own. So Joab sent for a wise woman from the town of Tekoa. Now, this wasn't just any wise woman. She was likely known for her ability to speak with eloquence and insight, to craft stories that resonated deeply. Joab instructed her carefully, teaching her exactly what to say, how to dress, and how to present herself as a woman in deep mourning. He concocted an elaborate parable, a tale designed to mirror David's own predicament, yet far enough removed to allow David to offer a judgment without feeling directly implicated. The woman, dressed in funeral attire, approached David, falling face down before him in an act of deep reverence and desperation. She began her plea, her voice heavy with feigned sorrow. "Indeed, I am a widow," she declared, "and my husband is dead. Your servant had 2 sons, and the 2 of them fought together in the field, and there was no one to part them, so one struck the other and killed him. And now the whole family has risen up against your maidservant, saying, 'Deliver up the one who struck his brother, that we may execute him for the life of his brother whom he killed, and we will destroy the heir also. Thus they will extinguish my ember which is left, and leave my husband neither name nor remnant on the earth.'" It was a heartbreaking story. David, a man known for his justice and compassion, listened intently. He felt her plight, a family lineage at stake, a surviving son threatened with death, leaving the mother completely desolate, her husband's name utterly forgotten. David's heart, though hardened by his own family's troubles, was stirred. He promised her protection. "Go to your house," he commanded, "and I will give orders concerning you." But the woman, under Joab's careful instruction, wasn't finished. She pressed him, knowing she had to secure an unbreakable oath. "My lord, O king," she pleaded, "let the iniquity be on me and on my father's house, and the king and his throne be guiltless." She wanted an absolute guarantee. So David, touched by her persistence, swore an oath, "As the Lord lives, not one hair of your son shall fall to the ground." He was committing himself, by divine oath, to protect her last surviving son. With that solemn promise secured, the woman skillfully pivoted. She had David hooked, his commitment clear. "Why then have you planned such a thing against the people of God?" she asked, her voice shifting from supplicant to subtle accuser. For in speaking this word, the king is as one who is guilty, in that the king does not bring back his banished one." The parable's true meaning began to dawn on David. She continued, explaining that God desires restoration, that he devises means to bring back those who are banished. She boldly stated that David himself, in his inaction, was like those who sought to extinguish her last ember by keeping Absalom in exile. David, sharp and astute, immediately saw through the clever ruse. His gaze narrowed. "Is the hand of Joab with you in all this?" he asked, not as a question, but a statement of realization. The woman caught admitted it. She affirmed Joab's wisdom and his loyalty to the king. In that moment, David understood. Joab, his trusted commander, had orchestrated this entire scenario out of a deep understanding of David's conflicted heart and the needs of the kingdom. It was a bold, risky move, but it worked. The carefully constructed parable had shown David his own heart, his own yearning, through the lens of another's suffering. He had judged impartially for the woman, and now he had to apply that same mercy to his own house. And so, David gave the command that had been buried in his heart for so long. "Go therefore, bring back the young man Absalom." Joab went, retrieved Absalom from Geshur, and brought him back to Jerusalem. But here's the twist, the lingering problem that wasn't fully resolved. David commanded, "Let him return to his own house, and let him not see my face." Absalom was back in the city, but still banished from his father's presence. The physical distance was gone, but the emotional chasm remained. It was a partial reconciliation, a temporary truce, and as we know from subsequent chapters, this unresolved tension would tragically lead to even greater heartbreak for David and his kingdom. This story teaches us about the profound wisdom needed to navigate complex family dynamics, the courage required to speak truth to power, and the deep, often messy, path towards reconciliation. It reminds us that sometimes we need a clever nudge, a reflection of our own heart, to make the difficult decisions we've been avoiding. If you found yourself captivated by David's complex journey and the wisdom of this unnamed woman, then you'll want to journey deeper into David's incredible, complicated story. Click the subscribe button for more interesting stories.